Hello. Sorry, usually I like to stand and walk, so we'll see if this works. Oh, shit. All right, guys, thank you for being here. I know you could be out there having fun, checking out some good stuff. And, yeah, I always, I always do really appreciate when people come and sit and listen to me talk about myself and stuff. Especially if you've we're at the Get Old show last night. That was much more fun. It's with Kevin. This is me solo, but mainly I really just sit up here and answer questions. So hopefully you guys have some questions for me, and we'll do some Q&A, baby. So yeah, I mean, whoever wants to just raise their hand, and we'll start it up and get it going. And again, hopefully we have some questions. There we go. First question. Let's do it, baby. What is it, girl? Hi, Jen. Careers, kids. Wait. Every time you think of me, you go, ooh. Like that? Or like, oh, ha, 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 hey. Which one is it?
Hey.
That's a big boxy-like thing, huh?
Hey,
is that the microphone?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
How you doing?
Hey.
All right, so every time I think of you, I think of you bent over in front of the fridge.
Oh, with my ball bag out.
With your nuts hanging in the,
I thought you were going to say you think of me bending you over the fridge. In front of the fridge. I was going to be like, whoa, you weren't kidding. Cover them ears, kiddies. Nah.
That sounds like something we should have talked about last
all right,
I would just
all
like
right.
you to,
but I do have, it was a fun, so I don't know, I know that's not necessarily the question, but if anyone hasn't seen Zack and Miri Make a Porno, what she's talking about is I come out of the room naked while Seth Rogen's talking to Elizabeth Banks, pouring his, saying like, I love you and all this stuff. And so I came out, Kevin was like, all right, I want you to come out naked. And when I first read it, I just assumed that it would be one of those gags where like I came out and like this would be in the way and or whatever. And he's like, you know what? I was thinking about, dude, I think you should just come out hanging like your wiener out and stuff. And I was like, yeah, I don't know. I was like, if it's not funny and it doesn't make sense, it's just me being naked. I said, I don't really want to do that. And he's like, no, it'll make sense. Which if you see the movie, I think it does because, again, it's that moment where Seth's like talking to her and she's in there crying. So it is a moment where it's like I come out and I'm just butt naked and shit. And then I go to the fridge. And so I was supposed to just open the fridge and drink some orange juice. But I was like, you know what, man? Everyone, the camera's right there. Everyone's watching on the monitor or standing behind me. So I was like, they're looking at my butt. I was like, I have to do this. So I had it was orange juice, and I had the orange juice cap. I dropped the cap, and I was like, oops, and picked the orange juice up. And what was funny, because it was real, like, sort of darkish, and the fridge, the light from the refrigerator sort of silhouetted my nuts. And so it was funny, though, because it was a little bit, but Kevin thought that everyone started cracking up and stuff, and Kevin's like, oh, my God, we got to put a light in there and make it even brighter so we really get a shine on his nuts. So we did that, and so then we did it a second take, and this time it was lit up a little more. So you're saying you think of that moment because why? You think my butt looks good and my balls, or just because it's ridiculous, and you're like, what a fool?
Can you hear me still? Okay.
Yes.
This thing is really strange. No, what I want to say is, please, God, give me something else to think of when I hear your name or see your photo. Because, hey,
right.
I'm not saying anything bad about your nutsack. It looked fine to me. I saw, appeared to be 2 of them there and everything. Maybe 3, I don't know.
So wait, you want another thing because
yeah,
you don't like
it.
it.
A different vision in my head, that would be just spectacular.
Oh, so you want a good one. So it's a good visual.
Yeah.
But you'd like a better visual.
So that's my question.
But wait, isn't my wiener's shown in that too? So you really get to see everything.
Hey, I need something to think about, at 10 a.m.
Oh,
in the
like
morning.
now.
2 p.m.
So if there wasn't kids here, I could stand up on here and I could drop the cap. And I could tuck. And when you tuck, like your helmet sticks out the back. Which looks really weird. It's like your balls. Sorry, I know there's kids here, but anyway. But we'll think of something. I'll try to think of how I can pull this off without getting arrested.
No,
Thank you.
You don't have to act anything out. It's just,
It was fun. That movie was a lot of fun, and I appreciated it. Again, that moment for me, I was a little weary on it because, again, I just was like, does it make sense? And I was worried because, again, I knew I just started dating my wife, who's my wife now, but then it was like we had been together for a little bit, and I knew that already she was like, we're excited when the movie comes out, and my mom wants to come, and my godmother, and I knew my niece, who's older, but my niece lets her kids, who at the time were 8 and 10 years old, see the movies because she's excited, Uncle Jay's in movies, and so she shows them the movies, and so I knew they'd be watching the movie, and I'm like, so that was my main fear, was oh my God, the kids, my mother-in-law, not at the time, but my girlfriend's mom is gonna see my wiener and my ball bag. But luckily I was with the mother-in-law and them at the moment, and so I could tell them, cover your eyes for this part. And they did.
It's just a silhouette.
And but before that, again, my wiener's out. And I thought that'd be weird if my mother-in-law saw my wiener before my wife did. Because at that time, she didn't let me she wouldn't even touch it at that point. So, it was fun. That movie was really fun. Thank you. We'll figure out something. Good visual for you. Hello, sir, with the blue cap on. Let's do this, Burrow. We don't need to give him the mic right now. I can hear him, I think, but let's do it. Yeah. I had told Kevin in a couple Q&As and interviews and such, people asked what kind of character I'd want to play that I hadn't played in the past or already played, and I said a rogue cop. And Kevin thought that was really funny, and when he did Yoga Hosers, he wrote a part for me to do with Johnny Depp. So if you saw Yoga Hosers, it was pretty cool. I got to do a scene with Johnny Depp, and that was a big deal for me. I was super nervous, but I got to play rogue cop. So he's asking if there's something. I really want to play a character like a Hannibal Lecter type, or if you've seen Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer. Not Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, which he's here, Rooker, which he was awesome. Which is, again, that is another type character. Something sort of dark and sort of sinister. I'd love to play something like that. So. American Psycho, there you have it, exactly. Something like that is something I would like to play eventually. I don't know if I could pull it off, but it's something it would be a challenge for me, and it was something I'd like to try. So that would be the next thing, hopefully. Next. Hello. What's up, bro? Snoogans. Weird, the thing didn't go all the way down inside. My tongue hit it, and I thought something was inside of it. I was like, oh, God. Yeah, bro, silent snooch. Whose idea was that to do the talk? It was Kevin's idea, but what's awesome is, wow, there is really kids here, full-on teenage, young adults who know what I'm talking about. Because I feel like when they're younger, they don't understand really. They're like, what's a ball bag? But anyway, sorry. So it's funny because the movies, a lot of it, honestly, is pieces of real life that Kevin will write in, and he'll definitely, shape it and stuff. So again, it's not like I really put on the song and was tucking for Kevin, but I had just around the time he was writing the movie, I had just found out that song was from Q Lazarus, and I downloaded it. And we were going to a show, local show at the time, or going somewhere. And I was like, dude, look what I found. And I put the song on. And he's like, oh shit. And him and I were singing it and dancing, whatever. And also, not at the same time, but throughout the years, I would come in, Kevin would be, we were staying at the same hotel and shit. And let's say he was in the bathroom and I was getting changed while he was in the bathroom. And I heard him come out and shit. I would talk and be like, what's up, bro? What's this? Stupid shit like that. And I know there's probably at least 5 people in here have talked before just for shits and giggles, even before the movie. It's just a thing some guys do. They'll just talk and they'll pretend they have a vagina and shit. But anyway, so I had done that a bunch throughout the years, and then I found this song, and we were listening to it like, we listened to it. I was like, look what I found. This, I didn't no idea. And he's like, oh, yeah. And I was like, I think it's a girl, really, but not a boy or whatever. So anyway, we were just talking about it, and then we played the song again like a week later, and we were talking, and it was on the playlist. So we had listened to the song a bunch. So stuff like that will come up, and I think while Kevin's writing, he'll be like, oh, we've been listening to this song, and Silence of the Lambs, the movie, and that's the song he's listening to, and he tucks, and Jay always tucks his wiener, so let's, so I just think, so Kevin wrote it, and it was his idea, but again, stuff like that, even like in Clerks II as well, like where I'm like, the guy comes up, he's like, hey man, where you been? And I've been like, oh man, I just did a stint in rehab for 6 months. I got pulled over for a deployed airbag. That really happened. In '99, I was coming home from Newark, New Jersey. I lived in Kingsburg, and I was coming home, and I just had copped some bad stuff, some drugs. And on the way home, we got into an accident. So the front corner of the car was damaged, but it was drivable. And the airbag deployed, and it wasn't like blown up, which I think people pictured in the beginning when I told the story for the first time. So it wasn't like we were driving with the airbag out. But it blew out, and then we like pushed it back in, but it was still visible. And it was drivable. The car was drivable. But we got pulled over because we were driving like that, and then they searched the car, and they found drugs on me, and I went to court, and they sentenced me to 6 months in rehab, which was great because the first they were like, you're going to do a year in prison. And I was like, no, no. And so luckily I went to rehab and stuff like that. But anyway, again, Kevin wrote that in the script. So throughout the years, like Clerks, the first Clerks, like that, me going like, what up, baby, what up, and all that stuff, and snooch and nooch and dancing and farting and all these things are all things that I had done that since Kevin and I met when I was 13, we started hanging out. And we made the movie about when I was 17. So throughout the years, things I said and done, Kevin said, oh, I find you funny and your humor weird and obnoxious and gross, and I wonder if other people will find it funny. And then he's like, so I wrote a character based off you. So that's exactly how I acted, minus I never sold pot outside of a store, but again, I used to smoke a lot of weed, and I used to do a lot, like, just so throughout the years, it's like Kevin throwing in bits and bobs of stuff. And snooch, I really say, I used to, back then, it started as neh. And neh meant just kidding. So I'd be like, dude, Kev, I just saw your mom's butthole. Neh, neh. You know, or I'd be like, dude, fucking, I just saw you, whatever. And then I would say neh, which meant just kidding. And then it went, nooch, you know, I just saw your mom's butt, nooch. This and that, nooch, and then it sort of stemmed to nooch to the nooch, snoochies, booches, and stuff like that. So yeah, and then Kevin wrote that in there. So I don't know. So yeah, I don't know why I just babbled on for a long time, but yes, that's why. It was his thought. The tuck was his idea, but it sort of was our idea. So there you have it. Thank you guys. Have a good day. No, I'm just kidding. Hello, Spider-Man. Sorry, real quick before you ask my question, I'm sorry he had left before I got to do that, but he didn't want to wait. It took a little longer, but sorry. Thank you. Hi, what's up, Spider-Man? I hope we will be doing, Kevin just wrote, so we wanted to do Clerks III. The bummer is out of the four main characters, I'll say, one of the characters said he was busy for the next 2-3 years and he didn't want to do the movie. There might be more involved in that, I don't know, but that's what I heard. I mean, we were gearing up to go. We had the money. We were looking at locations. The script was done. It was super funny. Excuse me. And the person said he was busy and we couldn't make the movie without this character. So Kevin sort of put that on the shelf. Then he wanted to do Mallrats, but Mallrats is owned by Universal, and they said, "No, we don't want to make Mallrats." And Kevin's like, "Well, I'm not asking you for money, but can we have the rights to do it and let us go do it, and you don't have to worry about it?" And they're like, "No, we've never given a title of ours back to someone or what have you." So Mallrats sort of, again, there was no choice. There's nothing we could do. We couldn't make Mallrats. So Kevin just wrote and finished the third draft. Actually, he said 2 nights ago. And it's 100 pages now of Jay and Silent Bob reboot. And so I'm excited. I've read the first draft, and I know it's the storyline. It's really clever and funny. I'm really excited, and I hope nothing happens. The good thing is Miramax is on. They own the rights to the not Jay and Bob, but to the movie. So some things are thrown in about the old movie, but Miramax is on board, and they're looking at. Kevin has the line producer from the first one. She worked on Jay and Bob, and she worked on Dogma and Mallrats. She's awesome. Hey, don't leave, guys. It's going to get funnier. I'm kidding. But she's working on a budget and a schedule and all that. And as long as everything works out to Miramax's liking, hopefully they're going to be doing the movie, and we hopefully will start shooting it in August. That's Kevin's plan, because August will be 16 years from when the first one came out. It came out in like 2001 in August. So this would be 16 years later. So hopefully all that pans out and we start shooting in August. And then let's say it would probably be out the beginning of 2018. Oh my gosh. We're almost in the year 2020, bro. The future. So yeah, hopefully. Thank you. Hello. Hello, son. Yeah. Oh, you don't want to talk dirty because he'll be like, oh, I can't believe you. No, I would think he'd be like, my mom's awesome. She talked about ball bags. She was talking about titties. No, I'm just kidding.
I just want to say, I know you talked about your little girl last night, and congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's been so much fun to sit with my kids when they get old enough, through the films that we thought were hilarious that you guys did, and the music, and nothing's better than $15 Little Man. That's
Awesome. Awesome.
Would you feel like too much of a trained monkey if I asked you a little bit?
So the 15. Wait, I gotta remember how it goes. So it's so how does it start off though? He goes, what's he say again? What's the first line? So I know I was gonna try to give you the whole business because someone says you holding $15, little man. Put that shit in my hand. If that money doesn't show, then you owe me, oh. Oh shit. Oh. There we go. That's what I needed. That I can't believe I forgot. What is it again? How much for a nickel bag? That's how it starts. Okay. All right. More staying the time, right? Jerome and shit. That was fun. That was really fun when we got to they showed us their moves and shit. It was pretty cool. It was neat. So you'll see there's a lot of cool little tidbits thrown back about the first movie in the new movie. And I'm really excited. I hope it happens. So we'll see. But $15, that's fun that you guys, I don't know. From my point of view, it seems awesome that again, like you said, it's you and then your kids are sitting around singing songs from the movie. I don't know. It seems awesome to me. At the dinner table and shit. Hey, let me pass that cereal bowl. $15, little mom. Put that shit in my. That's awesome. All right, who's out next? Yes, 6 months. 6 years, 8 months. Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Did you ever consider yourself, see yourself as a family man, and how has that ultimately affected?
A family man, and that's a tough question there. Wait, so did I see myself as a family man? I think I had trouble seeing myself having a family in the sense of like just because shit was always messy. I think it's something I've always wanted. Like I think I've always had an idea of like, and that's why I think I'm like again. There's been, and it's not a bragging thing, but I definitely feel like I did naughty stuff. Try to keep when I can PG stuff, but I did a lot of naughty business without protection, and I luckily there was no situations, and that's something I didn't really want because again the way I grew up is I never met my father, and my mom was a mess, and then I lived with my grandma, and I lived with my aunt, and I lived with some random family and another random family. So I'm just saying, and my sister's like that now. My sister has kids she has 8 kids that have been taken away from her, most of them, by different guys and stuff. So I'm just saying I never wanted that situation. So I think when I was over the years getting messed up and then sober and messed up, it was hard to picture it, but it's definitely something I wanted, and I could see it if I could get myself on track. And then definitely I think when I met my lady and we got married and stuff, it's always something I wanted. So I don't know if I'm answering the question right, but yes, I couldn't see it for years because I was such a mess, and I didn't want to put a kid in the situation like I was in, or my sister's kids, but it's something I wanted. And then when I was sober, even though I only have 6 years in 8 months, I did have almost 5 years, but then I relapsed for a year. So I'm just saying, I feel like even then I met my lady and we got married, and I felt good, and we started talking about it then, but then I messed up. And then when I got sober again, it was definitely still a topic, as if I could stay straight after we had a couple years sober again. So yeah, I could see it when I was clear-headed and I felt good. So I'm happy about it. And then did you say affected the acting? I didn't get that part. What do you mean? On life in general and acting and stuff? No, I mean I just think now it's definitely. I definitely enjoy working, and hey guys, it's gonna get funny, I swear. No, I don't think it's changed at all, except for the fact that it's harder to leave now. Like when I'm working, it's hard to leave, where before I didn't like leaving my wife, and I'd miss her and stuff, but I'd miss her a little bit for a couple days, and then I'd start to miss her more. But I could go I'd say go a good week or so before I'm like, man, I really miss you. I can't wait to be home. But the kid, it's like one day goes by, and I'm just like, this fucking sucks, man. I want to put her to sleep, because I'm usually the one that puts her to sleep every night. My wife feeds her, and then she cleans up, and then I put her to bed. I give her a bath and put her to bed, and we have a routine, and it's awesome. And it's crazy now, because it like when I leave, it's sort of nice. Like my wife's like, well, at least you could sleep in tomorrow, and you're good. And I'm like, well, that's a pro, yeah. But I was like, I'd rather wake up with the kid, honestly, and it messes like with the routine when I'm home. But I think so. That's tough about the work now, is leaving her, so again, I'd rather not leave. But again, it's also the other end of it is I have to leave, and as much as I can. And now I want to work. Not that I didn't want to work before, because I love what I do, but now I feel like I'm more desperate on like, oh, I hope this is gonna happen. This happened, because like it's crazy how expensive it gets with the kids. So it's always crazy when I see like people come to the table. It's not crazy. I think it's amazing and lovely. But when kids, like I saw this. The last show I was at, I swear their kids had to be 25 and a 30-year-old parents with literally 5 kids. And I was just like, the one kid, my wife and I are like, oh my God, the preschool's $20,000. Like, what are we gonna do? And then this is that. And I mean, I know you don't have to put the kid in a school that's that much, but like just looking at the schools, it's crazy how much each one is. And anyway, so again, I feel like it's only changed the perspective of me leaving. It sucks and it's harder. And then again, I feel like a little more desperate on making sure that things continue. And then, but yeah, I feel like too, I do feel like I want to do more of like some kind of kids thing. I don't know what it would be, but I really feel like now I'm like, man, I want to make these videos. A kid watches like this video of this one guy, his name's, and it's like Blippy. And it's literally this guy with like an orange hat and like orange glasses and this like suit. And he's just like, hey kids. He's like, this table is white. That's right. Say it with me, kids. This table is white. And she loves it. It's so basic and him just like dancing around, but it's got like millions. And I'm like, man, I got to make some videos with the kid. So I don't know. It sort of made me want to do more stuff like that. Like anyway, but yeah. So that's about it. Just a little bit on the work stuff. So I hope that made sense. Thank you. Hello. Oh, shh. I'm just kidding. It's so funny, Ming friggin' ratted on me when we first got here on the drive here from Cincinnati. We stopped at Target, and I was like, oh my God, I don't have this Lego box. And so like I got a Lego and my buddy got like 4 Legos, and like we're carrying them in from the car from when we checked in, and Ming saw me outside and literally told my wife, and she's like, we can't build a new kitchen with Legos. Because we're renovating, we're going to put a new kitchen in because ours is old and gross. And anyway, it's, yeah. So I was like, they're not mine. They were Jay West's. And anyway, so, but yes. So yes, and then today we went in the morning, and I try not to because she's always like, you can get like one thing. But then I'm like, the Rogues Gallery. I had this when I was a kid. And yeah, I bought like 4 or 5 things, but now I got to figure out how to get them home, and then I got to figure out. Then I usually like when I get home, I try to sneak in my man cave and like put them in the corner. And I'm like, I've had those. She just went in there while I was away. She had to go into the man cave to get something, and she's like, where did you get all those Legos? Because she didn't see, but now they're built and they're like set up. The Batman 66 Batcave, the Millennium Falcon, the Sandcrawler, and then I have the Ewok Village. And they're all set up, and she's like, you have quite a lot of Legos. Where did they come from? I'm like, well, a few people gave me a couple of them. Lied to her. I hope she don't ever hear this. I doubt, but anyway, but it's, I did come in with toys. Sorry, what's the question now? Yeah, there's my favorite fan, like toys and stuff. I mean, honestly, there's so much stuff that I really do get excited about. But again, I'm limited. So right now it's been sort of Legos. I've been going through a Lego phase, but I like the bigger, like the Bat Caves and the Joker Land and the Ewok Villages and stuff. And then there's all like a lot of the 3-packs or the like Comic-Con exclusives. Like I have the Doctor Strange book that was at San Diego Comic-Con, and I have all that stuff. I'm sort of just been doing the exclusives, and then some of the 3-packs, and like I just got the new Darkseid icon because I try to collect Darkseid and Apocalypse. I like a lot of their toys. But honestly, like there's so much stuff I want to get. Like I see statues and busts, and I used to get all that stuff, and I do agree with her. It's like I get all this stuff, and then I put them up, and then they're like, I don't really need all of them, so I try to pick and choose, but I do get excited about everything. So I get a little bit of a erection from them all. Wait, what? Nah. What's up, bro? I saw your hand creeping up. 12 inches. So, sorry. Yes.
So I was wondering, now that you've been sober for 6 years, does that mean Jay is not going to smoke any more pot?
In the movies, I don't know if Kevin will write that in. Honestly, I'm not sure if. I'm trying to think. I feel like he did in Clerks II, I feel like he did, right? I know he mentioned that I was sober and there was the book and all that, but I don't remember if it was everything but weed. But I think he did. I think he made it all. He made it. Did I get drunk? I know we were partying, but I don't remember drinking, did I? But the character was drinking beer. It showed beer and like. Wait, what? I know Elias was, but I remember when in the beginning I had the Red Bull can and I kicked it, and I drank the Red Bull. But again, I don't remember 100%. But yes, maybe we mentioned that it was only the hard drugs that I quit, and I'm still smoking and drinking. I don't remember. But yes, I don't know. In this one, even if I wasn't or was in Clerks, yeah, it really depends. I don't know. But Kevin, again, he might because he might mention. The father, that I'm a father and I don't smoke anymore, weed or what have you. But, I mean, I read the script. I can't remember if he wrote that or not. It's honestly, though, I feel like I just was looking at everything else, the big picture and how funny it was, but I wasn't paying attention to those minor details, to that. But maybe I do. I think I do smoke. Anyway, we'll see. We'll see. It'll be a surprise. I'm excited. But thanks. It was a good question. What's up, bro? No, definitely not. Because again, I feel like Clerks, when Kevin wrote Clerks, he said, like I said earlier, that he thought I was funny and that he's like, look, I wrote a movie, I put you in it, and I wonder if other people will find you funny. So I'm writing this character based on you. And so, but even then, I was just like, I feel like back then, again, there wasn't like. The small video camera, digital, and cell phones and all that. So literally, then there was like literally the big VHS freaking hand. So I literally thought he was gonna like borrow Uncle Joey's shoulder cam and we were gonna make like a little movie. Like I literally thought that. And then after he gave me the script and I was like, wow, you really wrote like a full script. And then he came back. He went up to New York and like came back with this van full of equipment. And, point is I still I thought it was going to be this little home movie, and then even when he had the equipment I was like, okay, so he's really making a movie, but I didn't know the process. So we shot the movie and then I went back to work roofing. I was roofing at the time, so I went back roofing and I didn't think anything of it. We watched the movie in the video store, all of us, when it was finished, and I was like, that's cool, we made a movie, yeah, right. But I didn't know that he could bring it to film festivals and maybe someone sees it and buys it, and Miramax did. So no, the answer really is no, because I didn't know the process and I didn't really get that he was making a movie, and I thought he just wrote this fun little movie for us and all of our friends. And then the movie got picked up by Miramax and it was like, it's going to be in the theater on some big screens and blah, blah, blah. And even then I was like, oh, that's cool. People are going to see this movie, but that's it. It really wasn't until, I would say, even after Mallrats, because we made Mallrats, and that was a studio movie, and he wrote me in it again. But again, he wrote me in as the same character in a movie he made. So it wasn't until after that the student Malcolm Ingram was there for Film Threat doing an interview, an article, like a whole spread of the movie being made. And he was making a movie after and asked me to be in it. We did a movie called Drawing Flies. And it was with, Drawing Flies. Jason Lee's in it, and Renee Humphreys. And so I went to Vancouver and did that movie, and then Brian Johnson did Vulgar, and I did a scene in that. And so after doing like 4 movies, it wasn't until then really that I'm like, wow, maybe this is something I could do. So no, I had no idea. And even then, though, I wouldn't say that I thought, okay, this is something I'm going to be able to do this, and it's going to keep going, and one day I'll be on a stage and people will listen to me. Like, honestly, it's still surreal to me 20-something years later, because it's not something I planned on doing, and even the first few years I didn't plan on doing it. It was just like, oh, okay, you wrote me in the movie again, and wow, you want me to be in your movie? And it wasn't till later that I really was like, wow, I've done this many, maybe I can do more and continue. So... So it was just me getting lucky, and I don't know. I feel blessed and lucky that I'm here again, and that's why I said thank you. When you guys, it is again, it's still people coming in to sit and listen to me talk. When you guys could be out like taking pictures on speeder bikes and you know, looking at comics and toys and stuff like that is really surreal to me, and it's flattering and awesome. So I appreciate everyone being here. But yeah, I mean, I hope. Again, I didn't picture it, but good luck. I feel like with the internet, it's so much. You know, it's crazy to me. It seems like my buddy lives in this building, and like I went to pick him up the other day, and there was all these girls outside, and I'm like, what the hell are they doing? And like they walked by my car, and I looked in for a minute, and then they walked away, and I'm like, what's going on? And all of a sudden, these two boys come out, and my buddy came out at the same time because they rode the elevator together, whatever. But he got in the car, and I'm like, dude, and the girls are like, oh my God. And I'm like, what's going on? He goes, bro, those kids are Viners and YouTubers. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, dude, it's crazy. Like, all these YouTubers live here. And all of a sudden, we drive around the corner, and this kid I just saw is up on a billboard. Like, my point is like, it's crazy what the internet now, like, opens it up for everybody, I feel like, and it's amazing. So, but anyway, I guess what I'm saying is, you can do it, brother. Thank you. Hello. I did. Yeah, so I directed a movie called Madness in the Method, which I'm very excited. So I went up to London to do a movie. I did like, it was a small part, but it was a movie called Devil's Tower, and I met this dude, Don Burns. He was the producer on the movie. And afterwards, he asked the question, like, hey, what would you want to do? And I was like, well, I'd like to be a rogue cop or like a Hannibal Lecter type or something like that. And we were chatting and stuff, and I said, I really want to start trying to direct. I've directed, some music videos. I had done 2 music videos and a short film that was like 11 minutes long and a PSA that was like 2 minutes long. But I told him, even that little bit of directing, I had so much fun, and I was like, I really want to direct, and I really want to play a rogue cop or like a fucking American Psycho type character or something. So him and I were chatting, and then he's like, all right, man. He's like, I'm going to write something. Because he mainly writes. He was producing that movie, but he also did a rewrite on the script that we were doing. But I was like, all right, awesome, cool, bro. And a couple months passes, and he's like, hey, bro. He's like, you know, I wrote something. I want to send it to you if it's cool, and tell me what you think. So he sent it to me. I read it, and I liked his main idea, and then I threw some ideas. I was like, yeah, but what if it was this, and what if it was that? And then he's like, that's a great idea, and he did some changes and then sent it back. He did some more changes. Him and I went back and forth. Long story short, then this had been like 9 months past, almost a year, and then he called me up. He's like, bro, and I was like, yeah, the script's great now, you know, it's pretty awesome. And he's like, well, I'm gonna get some money for this. I'm like, all right, sure. And he did. He got some money. He found some financiers, and he raised the money, and he came to LA, and we shot 6 days in LA. And then we did 3 weeks in London, and now they're coming back the end of April. They're coming back. They're editing right now in London, this dude, Drew, who's awesome, and they're doing a rough cut of it, a rough assembly. Then they're going to bring it in at the end of April, and we're going to shoot 2 more days in LA to get some stuff we need, and then we're going to start editing it and stuff. So I'm very happy. It turned out really awesome. Everything went pretty smooth. I enjoyed it. It was tough. I wind up writing myself in as, again, it wasn't a full-on American Psycho, but it would it's like if you watch, I'm sure a lot of people here watch the show Flash, the multiverse, it would be like Earth 15 Jason Mewes. Because it's me, but it's like an alternate universe me. But the character in the movie is Jason Mewes. And it's awesome. We had a bunch of cool cameos. Stan Lee's in it. Danny Trejo, Vinnie Jones, Judd Nelson, Dean Cain. And it's funny because last night I wanted to mention it on the podcast. It's, of course, Flash is coming out, and they've already showed that Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher is on the last episode. Supergirl? Yes. Supergirl. And I was stoked because I feel like I was the first one. I don't think they've done anything since Lois and Clark till they did my movie. Dean Cain and Terry Hatcher is in my movie as well. So that was awesome. But yeah, like I said, Kevin does a cameo in it, does a scene, some stuff in it. Vinnie Jones, Gina Carano. So I've got some really cool people who jumped on board, which was really, again, flattering and sweet for me because we didn't have a lot of money. And when we threw out, to their agents, like, hey, Jay Mewes directing a movie, like, most of them did it because they were like, oh, Jay Mewes is directing this. We'll be part of it. That'd be awesome. So that was really sweet because, again, none of them really did it for the money. So I was shocked. I really was shocked because I didn't feel a lot of them that we made offers that we asked to be part of. I didn't know that they would be, like, again, I'm friends with Danny, so I knew Danny would be part of it. Danny and I are actually friends, and we chat all the time and stuff. And Casper Van Dien's in it. Him and I are buddies. We chat and stuff. But the other Dean and all them, I just see here and there and stuff. So I don't know. I was very, very happy with how it's turned out so far. And again, so sorry, I keep going across the part of the character. It's an alternate Jason Mewes. So there's a little darkness in the character, but more. It's funny and dark. It's you'll see when you see it, but it was fun. I got to play something sort of the same but different, and I got to direct. It was definitely something. If I direct, which I want to direct again, I had so much fun doing it. It was a little. I won't say it was hard, but I didn't get to really focus and enjoy the directing as much as I would if I wasn't acting, because I would have to come and be like, all right, cool, so here we come through the doors, and we're going to do a 2-shot, and then we're going to do this. But then I'd have to be like, all right, I'll be right back. I got to go get hair and makeup and wardrobe, and had to get dressed and had to memorize my dialogue and stuff. So it was a little overwhelming with doing both. So I wish, but again, it was fun, and I think it turned out really awesome. But next time, I feel like I just would love to focus on directing. I realized Kevin even said, he's like, well, I do both, like joking with me. He's like, I don't know, what do you mean? It's not hard at all. But he's like, but I don't have to memorize dialogue. So, but anyway, but it was fun. And hopefully, like I said, at the end of April, we'll be doing some edits and finish the last couple of days of shooting. Hopefully we'll get it to a good point, and we're just going to start figuring out if we're going to try to put it into festivals or what's going to happen with it. I'm not sure what the process is going to be exactly, so it was great. How are we doing on time? Is there a person here that works here? 15 minutes. 15 minutes, little man. Make it. Okay. What's up, brother? I hope I will be in the new season. I don't know if there's any left. I don't think there's any left because they wrapped up this season yet? Is it ended? No, right? I don't believe I'm on any more episodes this season, but I believe they picked up a new season. And I honestly, because I'm not sure, I feel like it's been on, and hopefully they won't. Hopefully it goes another 3-4 seasons, and I could be wrong, but I feel like this season I really want to try to get more episodes. So I haven't been talking about the wife, because the big part of the reason I'm only in like 1 or 2, 3 episodes at the most is usually because, again, I live in LA and they shoot in Jersey, and they have to bring me, I have to go out there and spend like a week there, and so I can only go to the store and hang out so much because I'm only there so long. So I was like, man, this time I really want to go hang out in Jersey, see my family, and spend 3 weeks a month in Jersey and try to get in 4 or 5 episodes. So we'll see. I know I'll definitely be in a couple again, but I'm going to push for trying to get in even more. So we'll see. Did you have a question too, or? So Brian not being a social butterfly, you mean? Yeah. Yeah, Brian. All those guys are really, really like that. Like when they went to do the show to create the show, it started. And again, don't quote me on this. I don't know the exact story, but something like AMC, as the guy from AMC knows Kevin and asked Kevin, hey man, we want to do a show after Talking Dead with that same sort of genre, and the people that like that will like that. We need to fill some holes. You have any ideas? And Kevin's like, well, there isn't a comic book show on. Do a comic book show. And he just really threw that out. And they were like, that's a good idea. We'll just have to find a comic book store. And Kevin's like, well, if you need I have a comic book store. You could totally use the comic book store if you want to use it. That's fine. And I guess as they were talking, and they're like, okay, cool, we'll shoot there. But that wasn't supposed to be the comic book store. They were going to shoot sort of a pilot and then go from there. And they were like, well, can we use the guys that are there too? Really, the comic book store and the guys, they just were going to use, I think, to shoot like, hey, this is the idea of the show. This is what it's sort of going to be. But when they got there and they started shooting and they met all the guys, they were like, this is a fucking story and this is a show, man. These guys are fucking funny and it's awesome. And that really is what happened. So, but that's because that's what they're really like, all those guys. So, yeah. And again, a lot of that stuff is when it's shot, it's like, yeah, they might, like the stuff when it comes in, like people do bring the stuff in the cell and all that, but then they might be like, okay, look, we're not shooting this right now, but do you mind coming back tomorrow? We're going to have you come bring that, He-Man castle in tomorrow and we'll shoot it because you want to sell it to the guys and da-da-da. So it's, again, it's reality to where it's set up because they have the camera and they can only catch. But what they talk about and say and stuff is really their dialogue. There's no script written. It's not like, Brian, you say F you, you grumpy. Like, it's all them really talking. It's just more like, all right, you guys, we're going to talk about the castle. Go. And they'll be like, fuck this castle. Shit. You know what I mean? So, yes. She used to. In the beginning, I would say the first... Let's say before the baby, she used to come, and before, but not in a long time. She goes to San Diego every year, but that isn't because she's going to. She was mainly because she's partners with Kevin, business partners. She runs Kevin's company, Smodco, and they're partners in it. And so she's the one. She'll go, and she's set up like last year. Kevin at San Diego Comic Con did the IMDb boat. I don't know if anyone got to watch any. He did a bunch of interviews and stuff. My wife's the one who called them up, set that up, and was like, hey, Kevin would be perfect for this. What do you think? And they're like, that's a great idea. So yeah, that she sort of fell into that. When I met her, she was in college, and she was at UCLA, and she wanted to, when she graduated, she's like, I'm going to law school. I'm going to be a lawyer, but I'm going to take a year off. And as she was taking the year off, she went out and did stuff, hanging out with me and Kevin would be like, hey, can you do this? Can you do this? And she's way smarter than me. She like graduated school like 2 years earlier than the average person or something. I don't know. But my point is she caught on quick. And Kevin was like, wow, she's awesome. He's like, do you want to work with us? Do you want to open this company? And she's like, yeah. And so, yeah, so it's pretty funny because, again, she wanted to be a lawyer but then sort of fell into this world. But anyway, the point of me telling you that is just that she's busy with the baby and then working and stuff. So she hasn't been the con anywhere besides the San Diego, which again, when she goes there, even it's her working with Kevin and setting up our Get Old show and then Kevin's IMDb thing or this or that. So good? So good? Sorry. Someone over there. Yeah? Yes. Yes. Oh, I mean, there's definitely been a ton. I mean, again, I feel like I get like that still every time, honestly, when I see Stan. Like, honestly, I was just telling someone yesterday, and it's no lie. Like, even though and I know if it was today when we were at the photo op thing, there was two young boys in a Spider-Man outfit, and the dude had a Stan Lee shirt on. But I was telling him, like, literally, I see Stan, like, he came and it was awesome. He came and did my movie and was there for a few hours. Like, even though I get to see him, he'll come hang out, and then I see him at San Diego, and we'll be chatting, and even though I've known him for like 20 years almost because of Mallrats, and I see him here and there a few times a year, I still every time get choked up, and I'm not lying. Like, I literally, like, he'll like start talking to me and be like, how you doing, Jason? Like, where's that wife of yours or whatever? And he'll be like, tell Kevin to put me in a movie. Whatever he's saying or talking, whatever, I seriously get choked up. And actually, when we were on our movie, like, I had to like step away. My buddy, he laughed, but he didn't laugh because he knew. he laughed in like a good way because like while we were shooting it and I was directing him, like I had to step away and I like teared up and shit. I was like, this is awesome. I've directed a movie and it's Stan. But seriously, every time I hear his voice, it reminds me of like, hey, Spidey friends, like when I was a kid and shit. It's amazing. And I just think he's so amazing because he's like moving and shake. Again, he's getting old, but he's 94 and he's still sharp. And it's just, I don't know. He just blows my mind that this dude like created all this stuff. I mean, it's amazing to me. But him, I mean, again, I like Kevin Sorbo when I first met him. I don't want to say I fangirled out, but like I get excited about stuff like that because I used to watch Hercules all the time and I got excited. I'm trying to think, who else? There's tons of goofy stuff. Like I like a lot of the shows, and when I got to go on the Flash set, it was cool to meet all them. I don't want to say necessarily fangirl out, but I get excited. I just got excited too because in this second time I've seen them, But again, I like Gilmore Girls, and I saw James Gunn. He was just in the green room. I was like, Kev, look, bro, look. So I get excited. I get excited about the shows I like, and especially the older shows that I like. And like if I ever got to meet Angela Lansbury, I think I'd come in my pants. I'd be like, oh my God, solve this motherfucker right here. So just stuff like that would be cool. It's cool. So yeah, I get excited a lot. I really do. Like we go to these all the time and I go in the green room and it's so overwhelming to me because I'll like walk in, it's like Bruce Campbell, Ted Raimi, Sam Raimi, it's like Teabag from Prison Break. I'm horrible with real names, honestly, most people, but just people I know, and it's just like, I usually don't hang out in the green room. Like everyone will hang out and be chit-chat with each other, and I'm like the opposite of like how I am out here. Like, what up, Stooges? Because I get in there, I'm like, oh, hey, bro. Oh, shit, it's the Green Power Ranger, bro. But yeah. How we doing? One more question? Two more questions. What was two? You just said two. Two. Oh, two? Shocker? Two in the butt? One in the front? No, I'm kidding. Yes, sir. Oh, Mallrats. Mallrats is definitely, still my favorite. I had a lot of fun on Jay and Bob, and most of them I had fun on. But Mallrats for sure, because Mallrats, again, like I said earlier, it was the first studio movie, and it was so different and surreal to me because it's like all of a sudden we got there, and it's like we had people like, come on in and try on your costumes, and there's like 8 costumes, and I had shoes to pick from, and it just seemed so weird and foreign to me. And then there was like craft service. There's all this food and like everything about it, like staying in the hotel for a month, and everyone would hang out in the lobby afterwards, like, Joey Adams and Jeremy and Jason Lee and Ethan, and we all would hang out, and then we'd go all hang out in the pool and the hot tub and chat and every day after work, and then getting to hang out with an ape. And I was like, we're hanging out with an ape, bro. At the end of the movie, and just all the different stuff, and like getting to do stunts like the grappling hook, even though it was a big stunt, but we still had to get in harnesses and get pulled up, and I'm like, where do you get those wonderful toys? Like we were doing all this stuff that I never could think that I would ever be able to do, and it was a lot of fun, and I got to meet Stan. That was the first time we met Stan, and now it blew my mind because, again, Kevin and I really sort of, Walter, Brian, all those guys from Comic Book Men, they're all 4 or 5 years older than I, so I was like 13, so I wasn't hanging out with them, necessarily. They would work at the community center, and I'm like 13-year-old punk and running around the community center where they work, but they'd sit in the corner reading comic books, and that's sort of what got me talking to them, because I'd be like, hey guys, what are you doing? What are you doing over here? And I'd be like, we're reading comics, leave us alone. And they'd be like talking about stuff like, hey, did you get the new Batman? Like, can you believe the Joker did this? And talking, I'm like, what are you guys talking about? And they would like be like, here, read, this is what we're talking about. And they'd give me like their old comics, and that's sort of what got me into comics. And then I started talking to them, like, I just read those books, dude, they're awesome. And then they started bringing me to the comic book store to pick up new books and stuff, and that's sort of how we started hanging out. So again, like the comics and Stan Lee and that world is sort of what brought me together with Kevin and Brian and Walter. So again, it just is, it lays deep here. So yeah, doing Mallrats and getting to meet Stan for the first time was like, it literally was like meeting Jesus almost. It really was. It was like that crazy of an idea, concept, that it's like, this is Stan Lee, bro. And then it was cool too. At the time, I watched me some 90210 and stuff. So Shannon Doherty was like, bro, Brenda. It was awesome. Mallrats was definitely my favorite, and that's why. And yeah, it's still my favorite to watch too. I just think, again, all the comics talk with Jeremy and Jason Lee talking about, the kryptonite condoms and such and things and whatnot. So it was great. It was great. Thank you guys. All right, so I think we probably have time for two more. These two, I just saw two more hands. There's two more questions. One more. How are we doing on time, boss? What does that mean? We're done. Okay, sorry. Okay, so we'll do one more question. Before we do that question and we end it, after this, guys, if you get a chance, come over, see me. I'll be giving Dutch rudders at my table. All right? Hugs and such things. So definitely come by if you can. And let's get a good last question. Who has the last question? We'll end it up. You had your hand up before first, so sorry, but sorry, guys. But come by the table, I'll answer your questions. Get. Okay. Oh, that sucks, bro. No, I'm just kidding. Oh, come on, bro. I actually didn't. I can look at those things and never see them. That's God honest truth. And the funny thing is, as far as I know, that it wasn't a sailboat, that actual image. It was something, but it wasn't a sailboat. But I could never see that stuff. So anyway, guys, again, I honestly am super, super flattered, and I'm really happy that you guys came to see me and sat here listening to me chat. When you could be doing fun stuff. So thank you. Come by the table. Dutch Rudders, Snooch and Nooch. See you later, y'all. Thank you.